Hi chaps, Simo P here from Beard, Biceps and Batchat. Today I'm bringing you some gameplay as part of the series Road to the Batchat, of which is in the channel name but I do not own. So we're currently up to the AMX 1375. This is quite a good game just to show you exactly how I play the line. I'm enjoying the line far more than I previously thought I would. It's making me think a lot more about how I play a lot of situations during a reward versus risk or a risk reward situation where you're spotting and you decide to either take a shot, risk getting spotted, or to carry on getting assisted damage and not taking the shot. So I'm really enjoying how it's making me think a lot more when I'm playing rather than just sort of derping around, if I'm being honest. This is a great little tank, just like the AMX 12T. It's just got, essentially it's the same chassis, just with an upgraded gun. Reloads about 15 to 20 seconds. What's worth noting is this still doesn't compare to the American Scout line, so this is very underpowered compared to the Bulldog. It's got a lot less pen, a lot less alpha damage. It's not quite the same class as the Bulldog, but it's got a different purpose as a Scout, whereas the Bulldog is really just a transport for a very good autoloader. This tank has better characteristics for spotting, if that makes sense. So the loadout I'm running with this tank is I've got my binos, which you can see are up, as well as optics. Now the reason for that is I want to be able to passively scout, such as I'm doing here in a bush, or should be in a bush with the binos up, or actively scout with the optics even. So what we're looking to do in this game is we're on top of this hill. I'm looking just to keep undetected as long as possible, light up as many people just so our team can get a good idea of where the enemy is. Now what you'll see here is I was taking shots. I'd weighed up in my head that it was worthwhile taking up that scout, that Lycan, and giving up my position so that scout in mid to late game can't keep tabs of me. They've only got one scout left on their team, and I quite like to have the vision advantage and not be spotted where I'm camping a bush. So our team is spread out quite nicely between the city and the bridge on the right. The red team's really aggressively pushed the town with their heavies, so because we've got quite an even split into the areas we're defending, or I should say advancing, it leaves us at a little bit of a disadvantage. So although I'm trying to remain undetected while spotting, I'm still trying to look for opportunities where I can get my autoloader firing. And then we spot a very distracted Tiger 2, the naughty little chap. He's got himself in a very, very precarious situation where he's just eating all my shells. Now, I am taking damage at this point from that Lycan who's hiding on the hill on their side, but for me it's a worthwhile trade-off emptying a clip into an exposed Tiger 2 while taking a little bit of damage from the Lycan. I'm not too worried about my HP, just because it's not a strong factor for me anyway. I don't particularly need it. I'm not there to trade my HP for their HP on trading shots, so I'm literally just going to happily trade that off because I can still be just as effective with 1 HP as I am with full HP, especially with this autoloader. So at the moment we've cleared out our right hand side on the bridge. The team's pushing not too aggressively, slowly, very slowly. What I'm trying to do is just to make sure our guys who've just won the fight at the bridge aren't going to get flanked by something unseen. So I can spot all the way into the swamp along their line of advance. I've got spots into the town for our guys shooting them, and I'm picking on a KV-1S just laying some rounds into him. This is a bit of an unusual game because currently I've got a lot more hits than you would normally associate with a scout, especially in a sort of tier 8, tier 9 match. And I'm obviously being very, very special here. My bravado is obviously very high as I'm just exposing myself to the Tiger 1. What we're going to do is just pull back, get rid of the spot, and look to help my team. We've got a tank in C2, the fatherland, that's pushing very aggressively. just because of the characteristics of the tank. The last thing you need is a tank with a pipe nose and a gun like that pushing you aggressively frontally. There's very little you can do to it. So what I'm looking to do is just slow down his advance, help take his tracks out, so he's not pushing, or his advance is at least slowed or stalled. I can't do much to him frontally unless I start loading premium. And we're saving that, we're almost out of our normal rounds. But I'm trying to avoid using premium as much just because I don't want to rely on it. And it just makes me be a little bit of a better player, meaning I'm aiming my shots a little bit more and being a bit more considered with what I'm doing, rather than just throwing premium around and penning everything. Now the heavy we had to my left that's just got destroyed was holding up their advance down the 1-2 line. With him being popped, I've got to start doing a little bit of damage to this fatherland, otherwise he's going to just start rolling us up. I've only got one other heavy with me, so I'm just going to start laying into his side. I'm just trying to get that front drive wheel, but my shots are just falling off to the right. Luckily it's not hitting the tracks, it's actually falling in between the tracks and actually doing physical damage. So it's taking him down from sort of half health to almost one shot range potentially for something bigger. A nasty TD that we've got on G4. But I've still got to be a bit cautious. I'm trying to use this wreck to lull him out and hide behind it. Essentially, I'm not quite a one hit to him, I'm a two hit, so I can be a little bit adventurous until someone bails me out. Now it's at this point, there are the guys that are following over the hammer, so we put a quick shell into him, and I've been spotted, so either that Lycan's pushed aggressively, or there's a cheeky little IS who's just found himself caught out, the poor bugger. Now I take a shot for doing that. I had enough health to do it. It was important, realistically, to take that gun out of the game. You can't just sit on the hill, get shots into our heavies coming over, our heavy in the swamp, or me. So my position here on top of this hill is still fairly nice and secure. Now we've got one of their team spotted. We know we've got a T-32 to our left. We've got their Lycan sneaking around somewhere that I just can't get a spot on. So I've got to try and decide how I want to deal with this T-32. Now ideally I want him to start taking shots at our heavies in town rather than pushing and aiming to take me out. If he starts aiming for our heavies in town, I can then start getting shots into his hull. We've got our TD who's just slammed 600 damage into him. Now, I've obviously felt very brave and thought, I've got you here, into your side, off we go. This is risk reward I was talking about, and then I realised he's gunning for me, he's not shy. But I think it sort of shows my playstyle that I'm doing down the Batchat line. It's more passive scouting initially, followed by getting my gun nice and active. I hope you're enjoying the series, guys. Feel free to like and comment below, and if you're enjoying the content or at least laugh, please subscribe.